This series is dedicated to helping roleplay servers improve their knowledge when it comes to topics of public governance and services for their roleplay servers. To disclaim, I'm not a professional in any of these topics, but I am an adept enthusiast who puts time and effort into my research. My goal with this series is to help provide resources and information I believe can help make a roleplay server even better. Today's topic is referring to resources, meaning vehicles, outfits, roleplay equipment, or anything that your departments might utilize when roleplaying. So this will cover how to properly utilize, how to make things feel balanced, and going over topics that some people seem to have just forgotten about when managing a roleplay server and their agencies. The idea for fleet management for an ERLC server is that you balance and actually manage what vehicles are being utilized by your roleplay server's police department, making sure there are vehicles that are actually being used in real life or would be useful for your city's landscape and not just giving everyone undercovers and whatever other vehicles you want to just because you can. Now, it should be fairly obvious in most places you don't only see one type of cop car. You have older models, brand new models, models bought in bulk. So just having one type of vehicle doesn't really give that look of an active department that's grown over time. So try to stay away from just giving everybody the same vehicle, maybe even if slightly modified, because too much uniformity just makes the department look really off, in my opinion, because you won't just see only one type of vehicle. Again, some exceptions if you live in a really small place or a place that might have a purchasing deal with a car manufacturer, but for the most part, you're not just going to see all Explorers or all Tahoes out on the field. When I speak about balanced fleet, I don't only mean talking about how a department looks like it's grown over time, but what it's done to adapt to its needs. If you live in a place with a lot of forest and hills, you might have more budget for UTVs, or the department might have invested more in trucks. If you live in really suburban areas, maybe the department invested more in sedans, or Explorers, or other forms of SUVs. So you need to not only look at what kind of city or town you're envisioning, but look at maybe where the area is based off in real life, because departments need to modify their vehicular needs to what either the community needs, how the community is set up, or just how the geography of the area in general is set up. For example, the town where I grew up in, there's not a whole lot around. It's a lot of suburban and minor urban sprawl, so they tend to just use Explorers and sedans, things that don't need to move around on hills or in rocky areas. Not everybody has access to undercover or unmarked vehicles. Those are normally exclusive for detectives or supervisors, or in some very rare cases, possibly a SWAT team. But if you look in real life, not everybody is just given a undercover because they're some sort of special unit. There's always a purpose as to why a vehicle is unmarked or undercover. So don't just give your supervisors or every special unit you see an undercover because they think they look cool. Not how that works. Fire department fleets can be somewhat of a touchy topic because obviously depending on where you might have based your roleplay server in, there might be that many specialty units that might utilize the same vehicle. But in the context of Liberty County and its size, you shouldn't do that. If you can combine uses or just try and stick to one main one that gets used the most, then do so. Because it's not very flattering, and sometimes it's kind of annoying to see, the same 5 vehicles just with their text slightly changed to indicate they're a different unit, when 4 out of 5 of them might not even be used all the time. So if you just balance what's actually being used by the fire department, and maybe again even possibly just combine what you wanted to do if you're doing like a fictional server or a semi-fictional server, you don't need a use for every vehicle. You really don't. A squad works good as a rescue. You can just only have one rescue. You can make a ladder a quint, which is a combined ladder engine thing. It's really interesting if you go look it up further. But you don't need a specialized FD vehicle for every little possible thing. Again, it's always your server. But in order to keep some sort of professional look or maybe not a cluttered look, you just combine those resources. Outfits are a resource that people tend to overlook because they don't give a lot of thought into it. People just say, throw on whatever and it looks good. But for a roleplay server to have that look of professionalism or realism or just that vibe of they know what they're doing, try to have your people wear some sort of formatted outfit. Now, customization is good and it allows people to express themselves, but you don't want people to look ridiculously not the same, such as this guy is in full tactical gear while patrolling, and this guy is wearing absolutely nothing, not even a duty belt. So requiring people to wear like a body cam, a specific type of vest, maybe even just utilize the in-game duty belt makes them look a lot better and a lot more professional. At the end of the day, it's always someone's roleplay server, not mine, so they can do whatever they want. I'm just here to suggest and inform about what people might want to do to actually improve. So my overall general recommendation is when you are thinking of resources and equipment to utilize, try to just be realistic. Try to make it look good. Try to make it reasonable and sensible so that way someone could look at it and be like, wow, that makes sense, or wow, that looks good. Because if you don't do that, your server can come off as unprofessional or childish, because if everyone's walking around in tactical gear and everybody has undercovers, then that's not a good server because that's not how stuff is in real life. If you want to do that, just go to a public server. But in your private server, stuff should look professional. Stuff should have a reason as to why it's being used. And all in all, everything should have some sense of actual purpose. When I say be creative, what I mean is, since it's a roleplay game, you need to be creative because not everything you could or want to use is actually available in-game. So if you want to roleplay that your chainsaw is something else, because that's what you would realistically be using besides a chainsaw, let people know that. Don't limit yourself just because it's not in-game. And going back to what I talked about in previous sections of this video and other videos, is that when being creative, combine uses or create something new, or just don't limit yourself just because the game doesn't provide it. If you want to make this special unit, go ahead. Just try not to overutilize it or try to make it something that it shouldn't be. But if you want to actually do something that you think would fit your server, then go ahead. Thank you to everyone who's watched the video so far and has given me a lot of support on these videos. So thank you to the actors and to the almost 10,000 people who watched the last video. It's very much appreciated. If you're interested in becoming one of the actors, join the Discord in the server down below. And if you are actually interested in joining my roleplay server, which is still a little bit in development, but is currently hosting SSUs and police is opening up, also join that link in the comment below. I'm also going to add a little bonus section here where at the end of the videos from now on, I'm going to showcase, 4 or 5 liveries that I think are really cool from the PRC community. So I'll make sure to credit them and just make sure to check out more of their work. Stuff is really cool. So thank you guys again for watching, and I hope you have a great day.